In terms of layer cake, the way that I see it, you've got the layer cake smart contract on, network A, and you've got a layer cake smart contract on network B, network C. But in between that, you have sort of a group of bandwidth providers, right? What is the role of the bandwidth provider?
So they provide the safety to the bridge, and they also essentially interact with the smart contracts. So the bandwidth provider puts in collateral. Let's say a bridge is transporting USDC. They would put in USDC as collateral, and they are able to bridge in a certain time period up to the amount of collateral that they have put in. So let's say cumulatively there's 5 million USDC in the bridge, then the bridge can move 5 million USDC in a period, and that period rolls over at the slowest rate at 6 hours. So that means that essentially the collateral is rolling over. So the bandwidth provider is able to earn on that collateral the bridging fee every 6 hours. Compounded over a year, that's extremely valuable to the the bandwidth provider. Which means that it means there should be a decent amount of collateral in the bridge, which is what you're looking for. But the collateral secures the bridge, and then there's what we call a negation process for if there's a time when that bandwidth provider goes rogue, and the negation process essentially stops a rogue bandwidth provider from causing a loss to the bridge. That's why we call it an insured bridge.
Yeah, so the bandwidth providers, the role is beyond the scope of just providing the bandwidth, the collateral, right? So is it safe to assume that most people that want to become bandwidth providers wouldn't be able to without having some sort of technical ability
Absolutely.
to fully fulfill that?
My guess is the way it'll split is there'll be some infra providers that provide services to potential bandwidth providers. The bandwidth providers would provide the collateral, and then professional infra providers would provide the infrastructure, because they're obviously interacting with the contracts. The infrastructure that sits between the two chains is interacting with the contracts, and they're also absorbing the call data and then executing that transaction. So that's essentially it's a fairly sophisticated role. But my guess is it'll end up being essentially commodified, whereby you have an infrastructure provider like a validator, someone that is really good at providing infra, and then capital providers who provide the actual bandwidth capital, and between the two they share the fees.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I just wanted to clear that up because I know a lot of people are asking, can I become a bandwidth provider? But without some sort of technical knowledge, you may have to sort of outsource that and sort of similar to how the FTSO works, right?
I guess I think, this is where, we need to make sure that people understand we're building and deploying layer cake, but other people can build on top of that to create ancillary services around layer cake, such as essentially matching someone with capital to someone with infrastructure.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.